All right, good morning. It is a beautiful morning here in Northeast Georgia, and I want to do a video on the John Deere 1025R. I'm a little bit out of breath right now. Been doing some stuff. Thought I'd stop and do the video. So excuse my hard breathing. That'll stop here in a minute. Anyway, all right, so the John Deere 1025R, just want to kind of tell you why we chose this mini backhoe instead of a Mini X, and why we chose the John Deere. And the reason why we chose the John Deere over any other one is, I guess it's just the all-around goodness of the John Deere. And John Deere dealerships are all over the place. They're close to us. Of course, Kubota is close to us as well. But after watching video after video on this thing, and after watching Tractor Time with Tim YouTube channel, and watching all the things this little machine can do, we chose this, decided on this one. Looking at the specs, just all around, thought that the John Deere, as far as the mini backhoe, the little tractor goes, was the best. And I want to encourage you, if you are looking to buy a very small tractor, look at the John Deere 1025R. And no, John Deere didn't tell me to make this video, not even close. They're not paying me anything. They're not giving me anything. It's nothing to do with that. It's strictly to encourage you to look at the John Deere. I feel like it's a super good little tractor, a super good little backhoe. And I do not believe you will go wrong with a John Deere. It is just awesome. Now, you know, we needed something that we could use on our houses, my son's house, my house. We've got the property up in Tennessee. There's close to 40 acres up there. 1,200 foot long driveway at the top. There's actually another driveway, probably about 800 feet, 1,000 feet at the bottom of the mountain. And so just lots to maintain, and plus work. You know, we do septic and plumbing, and we'll do anything for the money. So we needed something that we could use at work and that we could use at home and on the retreat property. So this was perfect. Now you can get a mowing deck up to like 5 feet, I think, maybe 6 now. But anyway, so we'll just say a 5-foot mowing deck, and it's a drive on. You drive over the mowing deck to take it on and off. This thing has all sorts of attachments, just all sorts of attachments, anything you can think of. Stump grinder, and you can get a stump grinder for this, or just whatever, a tree cutter and a bush hog, the mowing deck, and it just goes on and on. So it's just an awesome little piece of machinery. It's a multi-use piece of machinery, and like I said, we use it for work. So it you can't beat the little backhoe. Front end loader. We'll eventually get a stump grinder and some other attachments to it, because we'll do anything for money, friends. We'll do just about anything for money, and it's just awesome. So I want to encourage you, if you're thinking about it. Let me say this. I wish I would have did this years ago. I wish I would have bought something like this years ago. So if you were thinking about it, don't even hesitate. Go purchase one. If you're handy at all, it'll make its own payment. If you are handy at all and you have half of a brain, this little machine will make its own payment. Now, of course, you need an attachment with it. When I say make its payment, you need to make money. You need the backhoe attachment and the front end loader attachment. And some of you could even get the bush hog and the mowing deck and make money with that. I'll eventually be doing that, especially the bush hog. But anyway, so it'll make its own payment. And you get like a 0% interest or a 1% interest, a very low interest rate, and you'll have it made with it. This thing makes its payment in just an hour or two, so a month, a couple of hours a month, and I make the payment for this. So if you're worried about the payment, you can do stuff just in your neighborhood for folks and make the payment, and then you'll have it for free. It'll pay for itself. So I want to encourage you, if you're thinking about it, take that step. I mean, I hate for folks to get in debt, but when it comes to work, sometimes you don't have a choice, and this thing will pay for itself. Anyway, awesome piece of machinery. Awesome piece of machinery. Well, look up Tractor Time with Tim YouTube channel and watch those videos. Unbelievable. All the uses, all the things this little dude can do. And we have used it, and used it. We've used it at work, and you wouldn't believe the stuff that I do with it, that we do with this thing at work. It's unreal, unbelievable. We do all sorts of stuff with this thing, field line repair, and just digging up septic tanks, and on and on. Anyway, so here's a negative, is if you're digging a long trench, that's a negative. That's the only thing about the machine I don't like. I wish it had some type of seat that just spun around, but it doesn't. It still didn't keep me from buying it. I'm still glad I bought it, although we do a lot of trench digging for sewer line, water line, and whatever, septic. This thing, you have to get off and go around, and it's somewhat of a pain. And so we did a 140 footer a while back, and it was tough, on and off, boom, 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 boom. Just, it was crazy, but it was doable. It wasn't something that wasn't doable. We got a lot of exercise that day, but it was fine, and that was okay. I'll take that. I'll take that negative to have this machine and to use this machine. With the type of work we do, an excavator is probably perfect. But when I say type of work, I'm talking septic and plumbing. An excavator is perfect, but there's so many other things to do. I can't afford a skidster and all these other pieces of machinery. And so it does it all. It does it all on the smaller scale, not the huge stuff, not like installing drain fields and septic systems. But all the repairs and all the plumbing and all that stuff, this does it. This does it all. Plus, you can use it at home. That's the good thing about this, is you can use it at work or at home. And if you're not in the construction industry, you can use this at home doing all sorts of stuff, and then do a little job bush hogging for a neighbor here and there, and maybe digging up tree stumps for a neighbor here and there, and you'll make your payment. Yeah, you got to charge them. Can't be doing stuff for free. Not with a piece of equipment you're making payments on. Anyway, so that's that. Now, if we're going to do water lines and all, we use this. This is the Ditch Witch all hydraulic trencher. You don't have to use any muscle. It's all hydraulic in every way it turns and all that. So water lines and stuff like that, we'll use the Ditch Witch. And we also have the sod cutter. This thing will cut an 18-inch swath of sod up to 2.5 inches deep. It'll cut it. You can roll it up, set it to the side, and then you can run the Ditch Witch. Now, the Ditch Witch only leaves a 3.5, 4-inch, it only digs a 3.5 to 4-inch trench. And so that's what it leaves when you're done after you've put the soil back. That's what you got. And that's not bad, but some folks don't even like that, because some people have some really nice sod, some really nice landscaping. And so what we'll do is we'll run this and set that sod to the side, and then we'll run this and put our water line in, cover it up, pack it down, and then roll the sod back on. And I'm telling you, with a little bit of water on it, spraying the water hose and rinsing away any leftover dirt after it is done, you cannot tell, period, that we've been there. And also with this, I'm going to get I forget what they call it. A subsoiler is what they call it. I'm going to get a subsoiler, and I'm going to modify it. And I'll be able to use this, actually. Once I do that, I won't even hardly use this. I'll be able to take that subsoiler and pull my water line through the soil without disturbing the top, the grass or the sod. I won't disturb it. It'll cut a 3/4 inch wide little disturbance area through there, and that's it. You'll be able to walk on it and push it back down, and you won't even be able to tell we have been there, except for the tire tracks if it leaves any. But we will be doing that. I will be getting that real soon. And it may do away with all this stuff. I hope not. Anyway, so that's it. The John Deere 1025R, amazing little multi-use piece of equipment. And of course, it can't do the big jobs like the Kubota. The Kubota does the bigger jobs, the installs and that sort of thing. Speaking of septic here, and this does all the big stuff, the excavating and that sort of thing. It, there's some things that are too big for the 1025R, and this will take care of it. But this KX033-4 is what this is. This, a Mini X will only do so much. It'll just only do so much. It's not a multi-use piece of equipment. It's not a multi-use piece of equipment. These things, what they do awesome. You can't beat them, but they don't do everything like that little 1025R will do. This won't grind stumps. This doesn't have a front end loader on it. It won't pick up dirt. You can't cut grass. You can't bush hog with this thing. But what this thing does, it does very well. And I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful that we got it. But this thing here, this 33-4, it takes the place of the 91. And let me tell you just a little bit about it. I know this video's on the John Deere, but let me tell you about this thing. If you're thinking about getting a Mini X, you want to look into this. This thing, it's not real big. It's not real bulky. It only weighs 7,400 pounds, somewhere around there. Maybe a little more than that. And see, that's another reason why we chose the John Deere, is because with the front end loader and the backhoe, it's right at about 3,000 pounds, and we can use the F-150 to zip around town in. It's not heavy. And the Mini X, the small Mini X, is still way heavier than that John Deere tractor, and that was one of the reasons why we didn't want a Mini X to zip around town in. So anyway, this thing, the hydraulics on this thing is unreal compared to the 40 and the 35. We just didn't see a comparison. We didn't see a comparison there. The digging depth on this is 10 foot 6 inches, and I think the digging depth on the 35 and the 40 are just inches deeper than this. It'll dig a little deeper than this, just inches, like 6 inches or something crazy. And the digging force is at almost 8,500 pounds. on this thing. And man, you don't need much more than that. I don't see where we would need more than that. And the 40 is just not much more than that, and the 35 I don't think is much more than that either. And so for the bulkiness of the 35 and 40, I mean especially the 40, the bulkiness of the 40, and the difference between the two, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer with a Kubota 33-4. No-brainer at all. It's awesome. The digging force is awesome, and the speed this thing will move digging. Now, as far as going, it's slow, but as far as digging, it's very, very fast. The hydraulics on this thing are a step above. They're amazing. They're a step above the rest of the Kubotas. I don't know what they've done to the hydraulics, but they are awesome. And it's all in the hydraulics. It's not in the horsepower. It's in the hydraulics. And they told me that and explained that to me, and it is true. Anyway, they are cutting grass over there. Don't they know I'm making a video? Anyway, that's it. The Kubota is an awesome piece of machinery, but the John Deere 1025R is definitely the way to go, friends. Definitely the way to go. If you're looking at a multi-use piece of equipment, this is it. I got to build a carport. I've got to build some sort of barn to store this stuff in. That's for sure. We're going to end up having to move. Regardless, we will end up having to move, or just the equipment. I don't have room here. My son don't have room at his house. So we will definitely have to move real soon. We just have nowhere to put anything. That's it, friends. The John Deere 1025R. Multi-use piece of equipment. I know I talked about other things, sod cutter and ditch witch and that sort of thing, but hey, whatever. This is it's about the 1025R. If we didn't do bigger things, we just stuck with the small things, we wouldn't need anything but this. We wouldn't need a ditch witch, wouldn't need anything but this. And if I hadn't already had the ditch witch, I would have never bought it. Well, you can get an 8-inch bucket for this backhoe, and that's not wide. I mean, to dig a water line, that's doable. Anyway, friends, we'll see you.